Today at school was quite embarrassing. I just could not let this front hairline fall down at all because it is absolutely unnatural. So I'm just going to add this and this and this, and I'll shake it up. I'm going to run it through and I'm going to sacrifice this. I've cut it back too far already. This bit at the front needs to go immediately. That rim that I kept trying to cut short along the front millimeter just looked like shit, so I'll get rid of that. Even that little bit hanging down just there stands out, and all along there that's really quite messy. It is an absolute wall of hair. That's why I'm unable to even go in there and see the scalp. So it's very hard to even get to actual scalp because there's no part that's actually got nothing there, and when there is, it's quite unnatural. I don't know if you can see close up of that. Like I say, poly's got to be the answer because of the shine problem. This is my last bottle of this stuff. I'll be changing this for this one anyway, but I'm going to experiment with this bleach, peroxide blonding bleach. It's probably not actually bleach as such, but I'm a businessman in my acting scenes, both of them basically tomorrow, and I need to have my hair worn back. So if I have to go to lace, plus learn my lines and everything else by the end of the night, then that's when I have to stay awake and do. But being wide awake and ready to do everything tomorrow is very important. So hair companies, please take note of what we have to suffer through because of your actions. Okay, so I'm just going to go on the front hairline. As I've said, this is a sacrificial piece because I've cut into it too much to try to figure out a way to make it look realistic, because it absolutely does not. It's not behaving properly. I don't want it to go in my eye. The biggest concern is that the hair company has used clothing dye, in which case they've really cut corners and I can never use them again. That's why I left Hair Direct, and they made no apologies for it, and then the knots were always absolutely unbleached. Trying to get my real hair. So the time is 20 minutes past 6. I'm just leaving this on for 30 minutes. Hopefully that stuff will stay reactive for the next couple of hours at least. I'll let you know how it goes. It's now 6:30, so it's been on for 10 minutes. I'm just going to wipe off a bit. It's really burning. It's really hurting, actually. So I'm going to go off this edge and see what's happened along here. Oh, fuck. I'm injured, man. I think I'm injured from this stuff. It really hurts. I don't know how to rinse this out without having a shower because this isn't really getting it out, is it? And I don't want that shit to roll into my eyes. Oh, fuck, that really stings a lot. I'm going to take my shoes off just in case I have to jump in the shower in case of emergency. Fuck you, hair companies. Bleach the fucking knots. Do you ever take feedback? Do you ever do interviews with your customers or any kind of research? Or do you already know all this and you're just deliberately cutting corners because you think after they've paid, you already got the money? I don't think you understand how much money you could be making. If you're the best, everyone's going to come to you. Do you understand? If you're the worst, you're going to get bad reviews and then your company just... Reputation is everything, right? Hey, does that look better to you already? Those bottom hairs are already blonde. I'm taking this off. Excuse I. Well, looks like I've got some chemical burns that really hurt. Still hurts. Yeah, like I said, fuck you guys. We shouldn't have to injure ourselves to fucking repair the products that you send us that are fucking faulty. We have to experiment on your products to get them to fucking work. There's got to be a company out there I can trust. Now, I think I saw some blonding going on, but in the act of trying to fucking, oh my god, my scalp is burning. Oh my god, I'm on camera tomorrow. This doesn't fucking flux. Okay, straight away, what do you think? Initial reactions go. If that was glued down, is that better? Obviously, forget the white bit. You know, it's not glued down properly. Okay, see, I pulled the whole thing back, so I'm not able to apply it without re-gluing, and I don't really want to put glue on my sensitive scalp right now. I'm going to have to delay that. But I do have to hurry because the bleach is going to run out of power. Okay, so I did 10 minutes the whole front line. Can't fucking tell. Okay. Okay, this is the back colour. And this is the front colour. This lighting is fucking bullshit. I cannot see shit. I cannot see anything. At the back it looks like medium light density, and at the front it looks like heavy duty density. Does that look blonder to you? It is blonder there in that spot. It would make no sense if it wasn't that blonde all the way along the front, given what I just did. And yet in the middle it doesn't look as blonde. The other side gets blonde again. With a wet, injured fucking head. I have to apply some sort of adhesive just to check out what this looks like, but then I'm going to have bright pink. This is fucking crazy that I need to be doing this, isn't it? Do you agree? Do you agree? Do you agree that when you buy a product you expect it to work? We've got laws in Australia that would make this person have to keep paying us back, and then if there are enough complaints the company would be shut down and they'd have to reimburse us for our time. Please do the community a favour and complain whenever you receive a dodgy product. I mean, you don't even want to wear it, right? So either eat the cost or send it back and ask them to resend it to you. But the problem is that some companies will take too long to send it back. And it's a very painful process to go to the post office and fork out however much money it costs to send something to whatever country it's in. Oh no, there's a fucking blister. How many blisters I'm gonna get? What do I need? I don't need this, you fucking assholes. This is conditioner. Please don't blister, you fuck. Oh my god. Well, see, I can't tell without trying that on whether or not that looks right. I doubt it looks perfect. But I've got no choice, but this is my last bleach, I told you that. I've got no choice but to apply this to this hairpiece, and I'm gonna have to try to brush this down and hold it down in position along the front hairline, which by the way has a fucking hole in it because of the stupid fucking sticky you fucking put on the fucking hairpiece, you fucking idiots. You fucking kidding me? Fuck. And the other one, hair facing in all directions most probably. Fuck. Oh, and here's the box of ones that I bleached, but the knots did not unbleach. Meaning that you probably used clothing dye. It's about 800 bucks. More. Our sincerest apologies. Yeah, right. How many times have other people complained about the same thing? Shut down production now. Fix it. Don't let any more of this stuff leave your factory. Unbleached fucking knots, you're fucking kidding me. I've got so much other shit I've got to do in my life. Not this. And not have a fucking blister on camera day and a red fucking ring. Seriously, fuck you. So I'm doing all of them, all the ones I can find. This one I've already taken out. And you see, I'm just doing it on the front hairline because that's all I could get out of that bottle. I'm still trying to make sure that I blister up. I've already got one blister there. Hopefully the red will subside before tomorrow's filming. And that... I don't know what's going to happen with it. So this one's been over 45 minutes bleaching. As you can see, the knots have not changed colour. They are still absolutely rancid. Which leads me to believe that all of these hair pieces have been done using clothing dye. I'll leave them for a lot longer, I'll leave them for another hour, but I just think the hairs will die if they'll even die. What happens if you dye them too much? The hairs go orange and then brown, so the whole thing looks like a dead rat. Like seriously, like a dead rat. People joke about the dead rat look, but that was a significant amount of time. That bit there was already done from the factory. This bit here, light blonde peroxide, didn't do anything. They must use a special kind of bleach. Because that was 45 minutes. That's the maximum time that the bottle says to allow it for. You'd think it would eventually. There's no way to tell from this side. That's the edge that I did. Don't worry about these as well, obviously. It's hard to do it very fine because the hair wants to spring back this way. And I've run out, so no more chances. I don't know what I'm going to do today if I haven't left myself with 0 options. I can still go into the cupboard in there and pull out an old one and scrape the glue off it and use an old hairpiece. That's why I keep reserves. That's why you've got to keep the old ones. I left this one bleaching for about half an hour, I think. So I think it's quite clear, even for that camera, to see that it is blonder towards the front, much lighter brown at least. But still, it's going to be a wall of hair, isn't it? And they're all sideways. I hope you can see this as clearly as I can. This is poly. That's what the feelers look like. Just on top of this conditioner and stuff, I'm just going to place it down for a second without any glue or anything. That contrasts with my skin so much better. It doesn't look like it's naturally coming out of my head, but obviously poly has no knots at all, it's just V-loops. And as you saw, I just basically slammed bleach all over the top of it. Just along the front. And I went in about a centimetre, just to allow for some cutback. Maybe should have gone in a bit deeper and just tried to keep the hairs pulled right back, and then done a few bleach lines a bit further in as well. But I'm thinking this is the part that matters. If you've got pale skin, you don't want dark hair coming straight out of it, right? Unless you're of that kind of complexion, because it doesn't look real. That's what looks like doll's hair, I think. That's why I was trying to make my skin browner with this fake tan yesterday, right? Although that red might be a bit of a giveaway. Just pretend my hairline starts here, because we need to get away from that red zone where I've got chemical burns. Okay, so come down here. That's going to be a lot better. And it still will be the same colour as my natural hair back up here by the time it reaches it. So I think I've solved it in terms of colouring, not in terms of V-lips being a good idea. But because poly's got so many advantages over lace, and I haven't had to wear it for a long period of time because it's always looked so fake, I've just got to get it off me. This might make it okay. Having a shower with it this morning, I just touched up a little bit of glue that was there from the initial time I put it on, but apart from that I haven't really experimented for more than one day with poly. But now I think if this looks okay, which it kind of seems like it will, so that's about half an hour of bleaching with $15 supermarket extra light hair dye, blonde hair dye, peroxide hair dye. I'd say that's solved in terms of that awful wall of hair effect, because the wall is generally caused well, obviously graduating in is the ultimate, but you can't graduate in without lace or this stuff. Like, if you don't know by now that lace is actually an unsightly thing that people can see on your forehead, and if there are hairs only here and here and here and here sticking out, then they'll see mostly lace, right? They'll see the lace, and more worryingly, they'll see the glue. It'll shine straight back into their eyes. They'll see it. It'll be full any lights. You're gonna have to walk around in the nighttime only. But this stuff, this conceals glue completely, okay? Now the V-lips have been a big issue. You don't want really people seeing into your scalp line because it looks unnatural, but not as unnatural as unbleached knots. I still haven't done what people are suggesting that I recommended in the beginning, which is blonde hair pieces, Swiss lace pieces, and then dye the hair on top. But I don't know if I can go back to lace because of that whole, when you sweat or when it's over 25 degrees, the external part of the glue melts back into its original state. And this doesn't leave hairs all over the place. One hair is this long and the whole thing just comes out like that. It's much less messy than lace. You can pre-glue it if you want to, so that you can have a bunch of them just in airtight containers, I'm assuming. And when you're ready to put it on, you spray alcohol there, and then you slime it into position. And it's already pre-brushed in the direction you need. So you get that, well in my case, the back part of the hairline on first, because that's the way I do it. After some hair preparation, scalp preparation. And then press that down, brush that bit back, and then make sure the front hairline is in position, and brush it the rest of the way around. And just remember, right now the only thing holding this in place is conditioner and probably some blister pus. Okay, so I'm just going to have a quick check, see if there's any way to know if the hairline will be absolutely ridiculous or not. Oh yeah, the hairline is ridiculous. But if people catch glimpses of that, it won't be horrible. Apart from that blister, which I don't want to scratch on the brush. See over there, that bit there looks good, doesn't it? Light at the front, dark at the back. I think I've solved it. I'm going to apply this, not permanently. I'm not saying you guys have to stop making your hairpieces the way they should be made, V-lips obviously are a problem. Unbleached knots could lock in underneath the 0.03mm, whatever, and be pulled out, but not in 2 hairs at a time, just 1 hair at a time, with an anchor. An anchor. Just lots of little anchors. Not so that they pull out from the back. Somehow make the anchor flat. Make the anchor flat. Somehow, I don't know. What if you took a hair and made it, because you'd see through into it. Well, at the moment you surely as hell can see in through that at the moment, can't you? I don't know, maybe V-lips are the way to go. I can't figure it out. Because the poly is quite see-through. Like if you had U-shapes, or that shape, and all the hairs were just crossing each other, you'd see all that netting and it would still fail, wouldn't it? But just because I can't think of the idea doesn't mean you can't. As for me, for now, I might dare to wear poly again tomorrow for the filming. I just hope this blister doesn't come up. And I think it is. Okay guys, due to this blistering and perforation of the skin, it's just about to rip off. It's just getting very damp and pussy looking. I think the top layer of skin's actually come off just with that slight wave I did just gently over with the I already look like a fucking leper or AIDS patient with that shit. That's from the skin tag the Dr. Ice Magic did. Now, I can't do proper scalp prep. I'm not gonna fucking shave over that. And to be honest, gluing on the back of this thing without holding it down taut, it's too hard. The only reason you'd pre-glue is if you've got 10 of them and you just have them all ready to go. Boom, 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 boom. It'd be better if they sold them like that, if they fit your head exactly. That'll have to be custom made, of course, because not everybody has the same shaped head. Unless it was done so cheaply that the whole thing was done with 3M tape and you just cut out the shape of your thing and then just peeled it off and then just put it on. Because these are disposable anyway, don't forget. And as long as the roots were, the V's, the tips of the V's were all bleached, it wouldn't matter where you cut it, because it would all have taken any front or side or back hairline into account. The roots would simply be light. Which is the only real way to get around that whole doll hair effect. So I'm going to add Walker Tape Ultra Hold straight over this stuff. What else am I going to do? Just walk around like this? Just take days off school? This is the main head of drama that's teaching us this week. We're not allowed to be sick. So even though it's poly, I'm not pre-gluing it. I'm just going to apply it like I would lace. There's a new product that one of my commenters recommended, which is a scalp protector, sports version from Walker Tape Company. Same guys who make this, the shiniest glue in the world, but the only one that works. And I'm thinking that might help prevent any bacterial buildup underneath the glue if I leave this poly hairpiece on for 3 weeks. And could potentially help if I put it directly onto the lace as a primer to make the glue stick better. Another thing that pre-gluing actually does help avoid is this whole incident here. See what I'm doing here with getting glues in those back hairs? But there's another minor concern I thought I should mention it while I'm thinking of it, which is that the back part of the poly system, where I've cut it out, has a lip on it of about 1 millimeter, so that the back part of the hairpiece, where it's going to be stuck back here up against my natural hairs, will create a 1 millimeter gap, plus whatever sort of spacing that I can be limited to by my own vision. Now I do have a handheld, well, table sort of mirror that has a pivot kind of stand, but I don't have anywhere above me and behind me to hang it to see the top of my own head. So that mirror I keep constantly recommending to you people who have to do the tops and backs of your own heads with gluing and so on. I'm sure that you're already using some kind of mirror like that. Please let me know if you are. So how else are you doing it? You go to a salon every single time? It's gonna hurt. And poison my bloodstream and give me cancer. Was it the customer's choice, Lord Hair, before he died to do this? Well, yeah, he could have just walked around bald. It wasn't our fault that he put peroxide on his head. He should have done a test patch to make sure that it didn't give his skin adverse reactions. They can't be held responsible for the stupidity of our customers. Why was he bleaching it? Because he claimed that it looked like a wall of hair, but that's subjective. What is a wall of hair anyway? Does anybody know? I don't. Order, order. That stings. Let's see, so have you ceased selling this wall of hair poly to your customers now since this incident? No. Why not? Can't be bothered. Already making enough money, don't care. Really? Yeah. You gonna put any warnings under anything saying don't try to fix this yourself at home? We could do that. Are you gonna try to make the product improve so that... No? Why not? Don't want to spend extra money. But your customers are trying to fix the product, and they've written you 10,000 letters here, we can see, that demonstrate that they're frustrated that your product isn't realistic, even though they wear it as toupees. Yeah, well, it's the same as everybody else's products. But weren't you advised on how to improve them, and you had the means and capacity to do it, and you just decided not to? Guess so. Well, why didn't you fix it? Like I said, making enough money, didn't need to. I'm learning from last time that I really need to wet the hairpiece before I apply it. Also, even though it's poly, and I could probably just slam it down on this wet glue right now. You know what I mean? If I was in a hurry, I could. And it would eventually just dry on its own. Not as quickly probably, because it doesn't have access to all the air. I'm still going to do it properly. Not least due to the fact that I need to chill out for a while and let that injury right there, the biggest one, oh, that's where the skin went, it all flopped over. Well, I guess it's not going to be a blister, just a scab. Instant scab, because trying to get the glue off and everything. Fuck that, that's going to look bad. I should just put makeup into it. Apply some makeup. As for all those French lace pieces down there that I'm trying to bleach, I seriously hope that they do bring out those disgusting black knots that are throughout the entire system. In the meantime, I'll be grateful to God on highest, Ganesh, Krishna, Shiva, and the other millions of Hindu gods, Thor, the Smurfs and fairies everywhere, for the bleaching front line of the poly, making it look more acceptable. Because I was very worried that they'd see through my disgusting hairdo today and see a wall of black shoe polish all the way around. I might as well have used this. And I have this because tomorrow I've got to wear a business suit and I make my shoes shiny. So thanks for reminding me. I'll be back when this dries, when this heals a little bit. How's this for an idea? Do you dare me? Will it heal faster? Ah, fuck! Ah. Okay, so I've picked up most of them and I've rinsed them off after about an hour of exposure. That's where I had the thick layer like that for an hour here on this lace piece. So that is the effect of bleaching for an hour. Useless. This next one, that's the front edge. Fairly useless. This one is clearly poly. So that's the back, and that's the blonded front. So I'm hoping this blondage will really help me out as I move towards poly. As you can see, trying to make that front section look realistic to people who see my forehead are just gonna, it's gonna be a struggle to make it look real. And this is the last sample I'm going to show you. This is how they sent it to me, and this is after an hour of trying to bleach knots myself. So these are our two choices. Would you rather wear unbleached knots or poly? Like I keep saying, there's got to be a better way. Now I'm going to apply the poly piece down there that I've dyed along the front, and then reglue right through the middle of that horrible injury that I've got from the chemical burn. Alcohol spray. Oh fuck, that hurts. Oh fuck. Alright. Poly. Much easier to see where I'm aiming with the poly, with the hair wet. It's a mistake I made the other day that I've learned from, so I wet the piece. Also I learned from the previous occasion not to let there be any overhang onto the natural hairs, and also try to line it up, or not try, I succeed in lining it up. But now I've got the fucking hairs coming in. So I keep saying take the hairs out of the comb. Something I didn't do just then was dry the poly base. So it's still got water on it. Bit of a problem. Oh, it's already dried there. I don't feel like it's even. I don't feel like that is an equal height to that. We'll see in a second. Up the back there where it meets. Once again, you can see it, I can't see it. I don't have two hands if I did this. Anyway, it doesn't really help me. I find it too difficult to see my own reflection with a small mirror. Yeah, you need a big mirror. Anyway, I'm running out of time. I can't let that dry. I haven't got. You can't. There's no way to hold a hand mirror like I suggested. You need to build a floating mirror above your bathroom mirror. That's going to overhang. That's going to be a problem. It will stretch if it dries, if I don't hurry. The good thing about that is, hairs haven't all pulled through. The second attempt at poly, if you fail, if your head is pre-glued, it looks like it's going to be a lot easier to retry again. Oh, just dribbled into the wound. You gotta watch out for curling. Can't let that curl over. So you gotta sort of stretch it up. So you stretch that up. And with no holes in it, there's no risk of hairs coming through the side, so there's no point to check it like you would with lace on that bit. Okay, so if I hold it from there, that's all folding, see it's curling, so unless I had a dot there, and a dot there, and a dot there, and a dot there, then I could probably mark those points, which is probably the wisest thing to do. But then you never cut this exactly the same every time, so most people start with the front hairline because they're pushing their hair all the way back over, and I don't know how a single individual would achieve that without that 45-degree mirror thing that I was just talking about. Yeah, you've got to spray the poly as well as the scalp with alcohol. Oh my god, that stings. Alright. Spray both sides so you get the slippery effect, so you can push it into position, slide it into position. Don't want any overhang. You don't want any crumpling, you don't want any folds. You don't want any hairs back here either. You don't want any spaces, and you don't want any overhang. So dead accuracy, if you can get it, not if you can get it, you have to get it. You must do it correctly. I'm just going to brush those hairs back so it gives it that dig-in feel. That back bit is secure. Now I need to make sure the front half is in position. This is using my new stencil as well, so hopefully the new stencil that I made in that 3.5-hour video is really nice. It's definitely, it's 100% symmetrical because I folded the first go at a stencil in half. okay. Even though the hairs are coming V-shaped and sideways all over the place. It'll be a lot better than if people have seen this first part of the video. It'll be much better than that bit. Oh, its head's too somewhere. And I have heard rumours that too much alcohol spray will weaken the blonde. So that 5th attempt or whatever it is of spraying heaps of alcohol has somehow evaporated off some of the glue with it. It even feels like it doesn't want to stick down, but maybe I didn't put enough glue back up there when I applied the first overglue. So what I'm saying is I might not have the brush back look. Obviously I haven't put the front layer of glue on yet. I'm just looking for potential at this point. What I'm saying is it'll be less embarrassing if people catch a glimpse of the hairline when it's blonded, when it's blonded in that way. I'm going to lay that back down with more glue. And there. And yeah, because of this, and it's going to be a scab by tomorrow, I've got enough to worry about with my lines and everything. I've got to learn tonight. I've been doing this instead. I think the main lesson for the hair companies with all of this is just to bleach the knots. Whether it's V, loops or knots, bleach them. If you've got a brown hair like that, this is how much you're going to be tying in the middle, and it's going to be centered, right? Just make that part of thousands and thousands of hairs blonde. V-lip, same thing. Do that again. Just go, you're gonna have a band of 1.5 centimeters, right down the middle. I don't know, just block all the rest of the hairs with some, I don't know, timber, I don't know. Then just pour fucking bleach right down through the middle of all of it before the ladies start knitting it through. I don't know what you're gonna do, but it doesn't sound that hard if you've got the equipment to make this stuff. Doing that extra step doesn't sound hard. Unless the lady's just like, oh well, that one's that long, and that one's that long, and they don't know how to center it or something. I don't know. But from my perspective, in my mind, the way you'd expect they're doing it is that there's going to be the same center every time. They'll have, maybe 1 million hairs here. You take one, it's brown, blonde, brown. You take that, stitch it through, keep the blonde bit in the middle. Maybe 1.5 centimeters, 15 millimeters or something. I don't know, whatever you need to do. Isn't that a reasonable request? If they've been doing this and smoking and they don't have a look at it, what they're doing, just say from now on, we need more accuracy. And they'll get a feel for it. If they're just trained up to this next level, that's the band it must land in. The knot must be there. Because you don't want a brown knot and then halfway up there's a blonde patch and then the brown keeps going. No, that's shit. Obviously. They need to aim. find a new method of doing it. But that, to me, sounds like the first advancement in technology you could take. What are you guys thinking about this so far? Do you think it's made improvements since the start of this video? When I had just extreme, like, medium dark brown hair coming straight out of... You know, the other cool thing about poly is I don't have to worry about fucking pasting the underside of it. Oh, there's so much red shit. Little tiny micro abrasions going on all the way along. I can just paint that. Poly, I would say I love poly compared to lace for multiple reasons, and this is one. Being able to just glue underneath without worrying about, oh no, I got some on the lace itself, that's fucked it. Poly doesn't have that problem. Breathability hasn't been a problem with any of the lace hair pieces I've worn throughout summer, obviously. Didn't feel it. The only thing was that I was worried about the glue shining through, which it did. And I'm quite confident that you don't even need a thick layer of glue on poly to make it stick. And I'm also fairly confident that I could just stick this down right now. It would just take longer to dry, but I wouldn't have to know about it. It would just simply do its thing. But given that it will take longer, that means I can't cut the hair and style it at the speed that I would want to. So I think I'll just let it dry for 15 minutes. So there's no chance of lifting. Also, you don't want a big swab of glue under here because otherwise this definitely, if I do this now, this definitely means I will definitely get it on target and I won't have to come back and do any more touch-ups. I just do this right now. Just gotta be careful not to land in the hairs, that's all. But I think that's a skill I could learn. So tell me, does that win points for you in thoughts about poly? That I can just, you could just paint straight on to this underside here to fix up these front bits without worrying about marking any, don't want any forehead at all. You don't need any more forehead marks. You know, you can do you don't want to mark like that, but you don't want the comb marks or the pencil marks or where you're going to land at marks or anything. You just paint this to the edge and you know it's going to land by the power invested in the laws of physics. This piece will land accurately on a dime. I'm kind of tempted to just shove it right down now just to see what happens, but because I'm running out of it. Got to order more bleach and all this stuff as well. But you can see what's going to happen, right? It's going to be miles better than it was at the start of this video, where it's just jet black, almost very dark brown hair coming out of my forehead, my pale forehead. Even though I even already had hair dark, like spray tan as well, because that's darker than that. You see? The camera won't tell you the truth. It's a couple of tones darker. I'm like deluding myself into thinking this is permanent. Instant bronzer and self-tanning spray for the face and body. Bit ambiguous. For a long-lasting natural glow, the deep golden pigment gives you face and body an instant all-over healthy glow, whilst the long-lasting self-tanner develops underneath in hours. Yeah, it does. It's not just now, don't wash if you want this to stay on. No, you can wash. You're supposed to wash. Oh yeah, doesn't tell you. How do I use? Step 1 for best results. Cleanse and exfoliate your skin. Well, that's exfoliated. That bit will tan nicely, I think. Cleanse and exfoliate your skin prior to use and apply within 30 minutes of showering. Why? We'll just get into the pores or something? Pour un meilleur résultat, nettoyer et exfolier avant utilisation. Il est important d'appliquer le temps dans la demi-heure qui suit pour un résultat optimum et d'une couleur longue durée. Step 2, you must shake can well. Cover floor area where you intend to stand and spray. Step 3, hold can 40 centimeters away from face and body. Spray fine mist evenly over desired area. Spray in a light, even motion or blotching maker. Allow 10 minutes to dry before dressing and wait 4 hours before washing. Well, I slept with it, so that should have given me the maximum results. And yeah, there is a dark kind of look. Kind of looks like there's makeup there, but still in a natural colour. It's not unnatural looking at all. It's not orange. I don't like tanning bed Trump. Yeah, no hairs are coming out through here or anything. Poly is a dream come true so long as I can get it to look right at the front hairline. And figure out any other problems that are going on with it. And that, the V-loops, obviously when you look down into somebody's hair, yeah, like I showed you, it looks like that. Where's the camera? I can't see what I'm filming there. That's lace, 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 poly. That's poly. So, if you saw somebody with a hairline like that, or a scalp like that, what would you think? Let me put this back. You can never see it properly, can you, with that camera? Can you see how fake that looks? You can't, can you? And then there's the choice of unbleached knots, of course. So, I'm very glad that that blonde, A, affected the colour of the poly, B, comes out of my skin with a tone that would suit my race. 3, the fact that it bled into the brown instead of going blonde, stop, brown, it sponged into it nicely. Well, another thing about the poly is I can go into here, so that's 4, I guess. I'm talking about the positive things about it. A bit longer. Go and have a spinach and ricotta. Not vegan yet. Need some tomato sauce as well. Yeah. One day I'll look back and go, why did you eat milk and dairy? That's gross. Hopefully I'll go that way instead of, oh man, why did I even bother being vegetarian? Meat is delicious. Oh. I should very much say that I care about animals forever. Not because I'm worried about being a hypocrite, because lives depend on my decision. Here, motherfucker. Here, motherfucker. Ding, 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 ding. Here, motherfucker. Coast to coast. Oh, that's it. Water. Even though I love having long, flowing locks, I must not have grown this much hair overnight. That's about 6 inches, isn't it? Sometimes I say it's 6 when it's actually 4, but in this case I think it's probably 6. Or 5. Could be 5. It used to be only 6 and 4, they used to be the 2 lengths, but now the poly company, whoever it is, that, I don't know. I don't know if there's one poly company or every hair company is trying to make their own poly, or I don't know who's doing it. I really don't know who to blame for this. For these problems I've been talking about with poly. It's the wrong way to do it. There are parts of lace that are better than poly and parts of poly that are better than lace. How well can you see those V-loops there? And the colour doesn't look that unnatural in relation to the rest of the hairpiece either. Yeah, that was the way to do it. That definitely bleach the front bit. The poly took all that glue off with it. I love you, Polly. Be my friend. Be a good friend. Don't ever betray me. Alright, let's give myself a haircut. Let's give myself a haircut. Level 1. You'll dry. Look who I found crawling through the garbage again. Mr. Mistopheles, you gotta stay out of there. I'm gonna lock you in your cage for a week. Is that understood? I'm sorry. That's not helpful. Gotta start again now. I'm just kidding. It was just the shitty old hairpiece. Tricked you. I just can't rebut it. Alright. Is there any uniformity to this circus over here? You got any rules to cutting your hair in a certain pattern or something? Because to me, it looks like you're just guessing all the time. I mean, no wonder your hair never sits straight. A good haircut should probably look good dry, huh? I don't think this one will. At least I don't have to wear that horrific front hairline like I did yesterday. And the only difference between that one and this one is that I've bleached the front hairline. And it still blends. I'm starting to look like a heroin addict or something. His lips healed. So, vive la différence. You can still tell it's poly because of the V-loops, but it's a lot better. Wouldn't you say? Than the start of the video when it was just dark. And these ones, they couldn't be bleached with the amount of bleach that I had remaining, so this is how a non-hair wearing person would imagine the bathroom of somebody who wears hair. Oh yeah, come in, it's just the second cupboard on the left. Yeah, just there. What else did you want? Scissors? Okay, yeah, that's just in the top drawer. Okay, cool. If you're like, oh, fucking hell, what the hell is this shit? Anyway, I guess I'll leave them overnight, see what that is. But yeah, I'm happy to go to school with that for now. Can you see what's happening with that? It's not perfect, is it? Well, see, I could do that kind of hairstyle tomorrow a bit more. That'll look better. I don't want to shave because that would make that thing more prominent. I bought band-aids, but they don't stick to stubble. You know what a band-aid is, right? A bandage. And if I shave it though, it'll look so prominent. And a bandage on the neck, band-aid on the neck stretches every time you move your neck. There's probably no other part of the body that would move as much as your neck does, right? You're trying to keep a band-aid on. If it was a square or a round band-aid, I think it would probably have been the right size to buy. But I thought, okay, if we're going to buy band-aids for $8, might as well get ones that will be good for lots of injuries. Probably should have just got a round one. Or just get some makeup. Alright, so that concludes my video. I hope you prefer the hairline now. And for anybody who's thinking about getting poly, I think the advantages still outweigh the disadvantages. Haven't had it on long term to experience sweating and all the other bacterial colonies that could live under there, trying to scratch it. But like I said in my other video, it feels like when the shower is raining onto your poly unit, it feels like it's raining straight onto your head. I can't, I mean, I can scratch my head right now. it's better here, right? Because I can get the nails right in under the skin and do the uplift with the skin scratching. But here I can definitely attack an edge. And it feels like real hair. It feels like real motherfucking hair, motherfuckers. And it's not lifting, there's no fucking lip at the front. Now, I've messed my hair up, but I haven't started peeling it. And yeah, there might be some maintenance, of course, at the front and everything. And the V-lips look obviously awful, but bleach them, and then you've got a better advantage. Unless I'm mistaken, this is the best hairpiece I've ever worn now. And I expect that I could jump out of a fucking plane with the wind howling past my head, and there'll be no lift. There'll be no lift to that. I'll dive into a pool. I have a shower right now. It's not going to come off. I mean, I've got acrylic glue, don't forget. That doesn't matter if that gets water on it. As long as it doesn't come between the skin and the hairpiece. There's a sandwich there. A skin, acrylic, poly. They love one another very much, and they don't want to be separated. Especially by some stupid shower. It doesn't care about that. So, hopefully, this will be the first day of the rest of my life. As I seek new adventures. But this isn't really sunlight. I'm only seeing the vagaries of this LED.